For nearly a century, the pharaohs had achieved what no civilization had ever imagined. They had raised mountains from the desert, transformed kings into gods, and convinced an entire nation that their ruler would live forever among the stars. But then, something changed. The pyramids became smaller, and the greatest building project in human history simply stopped. Why would a civilization capable of creating the Great Pyramid abandon the very monuments that defined its power? The answer would reshape Egypt forever and leave behind mysteries that historians are still struggling to solve today. The era of the giant pyramids had ended, but Egypt had not stopped building them. After the Fourth Dynasty came a new royal family. Beginning with Pharaoh Userkaf, the rulers of the Fifth Dynasty continued the ancient tradition of pyramid construction. Yet something had clearly changed. The pyramids of Userkaf, Sahur, Neferirkare, and later Nusere were all significantly smaller than the colossal monuments standing on the Giza plateau. This wasn't because the Egyptians had lost their engineering genius. Their architects still possessed the knowledge to quarry, transport, and shape enormous blocks of stone. Their skilled craftsmen remained among the finest the ancient world had ever produced. Instead, the pharaohs were no longer obsessed with building the tallest monument on earth. For the first time in generations, royal ambition began shifting away from pure architectural scale. The enormous resources once devoted almost entirely to gigantic pyramids were now being invested into temples, religious ceremonies, and an entirely new vision of divine kingship. The pyramid was no longer the only symbol of a pharaoh's eternal power. A new force was beginning to dominate Egypt's royal ideology, one that shone above them every single day: the sun. As the Fifth Dynasty matured, Egypt underwent a remarkable transformation. The pharaohs no longer presented themselves simply as divine rulers on earth. They now proclaimed something even greater. They were the literal sons of Ra, the sun god. This wasn't just a royal title. It completely changed the meaning of a kingship. Every sunrise reminded the people that Ra watched over Egypt, and every pharaoh claimed to be his earthly descendant. If the pyramids had once symbolized a king's journey into the afterlife, the sun itself now became the ultimate source of royal authority. That shift reshaped Egyptian architecture. Instead of investing every resource into ever larger pyramids, the pharaohs began constructing magnificent sun temples. One of the greatest still stands today at Abu Ghorab, built by Pharaoh Nusere. Unlike the enclosed pyramid complexes of earlier generations, it was a vast open-air sanctuary centered around a giant stone obelisk, permanently reaching toward the heavens and honoring Ra's eternal light. These temples weren't tombs. They celebrated the daily cycle of the sun as the force that sustained the universe. At the same time, Ptah, the creator god worshipped in Memphis, remained central to Egyptian belief. The Egyptians believed Ptah created the universe simply by imagining it in his heart and speaking it into existence. Together, Ra and Ptah became the foundation of royal authority. Ra gave the pharaoh divine blood. Ptah gave him divine creation. By serving the gods, the people believed they weren't simply building monuments for a king. They were preserving Ma'at, the sacred balance that kept the universe alive. For generations, that belief united Egypt, but it depended on one dangerous assumption: that the gods would always reward the pharaoh's rule. For centuries, the system worked exactly as the pharaohs intended. The Nile flooded, the harvests were plentiful, the temples grew richer, and the people believed their divine king had preserved the sacred order of the universe. But there was one force that even the pharaoh could never command: nature. Toward the end of the Old Kingdom, the climate across northeastern Africa began to change. Year after year, the life-giving floods of the Nile became weaker and less predictable. Fields that had fed Egypt for centuries produced smaller harvests, and famine slowly spread across the kingdom. As food became scarce, local governors, known as nomarchs, grew increasingly powerful. Instead of relying on the royal court at Memphis, entire provinces began managing their own wealth, armies, and resources. The centralized authority that had built the pyramids slowly started to fracture. For ordinary Egyptians, an even deeper crisis emerged. The pharaoh had always been presented as the living son of Ra, the divine protector who maintained Ma'at, the cosmic balance that kept Egypt prosperous. But if the gods truly ruled through the pharaoh, why were the floods failing? Why were people starving? For the first time in centuries, faith in the absolute power of the god kings began to weaken. Around 2181 BCE, the Old Kingdom finally collapsed into a period of political fragmentation and instability that historians now call the First Intermediate Period. The age of the pyramid builders was over, but while the kingdom had fallen, its greatest mysteries were only just beginning. But if the pyramids left behind unanswered questions, the Great Sphinx created even bigger ones. For generations, rumors have surrounded the silent guardian of Giza. Some believe the Sphinx is far older than the pyramids themselves, a relic from a forgotten civilization that existed thousands of years before the first pharaoh. Others claim a hidden hall of records lies buried beneath its pores, protecting lost knowledge, secret technologies, and the true origins of human civilization. Psychic Edgar Cayce even predicted that this underground library would one day be discovered. Then in the 1990s, the mystery took an unexpected turn. Geologist Dr. Robert Schoch argued that the deep weathering carved into parts of the Sphinx enclosure looked more like erosion caused by prolonged rainfall than by thousands of years of wind and desert sand. If this is true, then the Sphinx could be thousands of years older than the accepted timeline of ancient Egypt. But despite decades of excavations, radar surveys, and scientific research, no hall of records has ever been found, and the overwhelming majority of Egyptologists continue to date the Sphinx to the reign of Pharaoh Khafre around 2500 BCE. If there is one discovery archaeologists dream of making, it's the tomb of Imhotep, the man who designed the step pyramid of Djoser, revolutionized stone architecture, and was later worshipped as the god of wisdom and healing, simply vanished from history. For centuries, legends have claimed that Imhotep's burial chamber hides unimaginable treasures, lost architectural knowledge, sacred writings, and secrets that died with Egypt's greatest genius. Many believe his tomb still lies somewhere beneath the sands of Saqqara, waiting to be uncovered. Others argue it was deliberately concealed so perfectly that no grave robber or archaeologist would ever find it. Over the past century, countless excavations have searched the Saqqara necropolis, uncovering temples, tombs, and underground galleries connected to Imhotep's cult. Yet despite all these discoveries, the final resting place of the greatest architect of the ancient world remains completely unknown. The Old Kingdom may have disappeared more than 4,000 years ago, but its greatest creations continue to challenge everything we think we know about the ancient world. The pyramids still dominate the horizon, the Sphinx still guards the desert, and somewhere beneath the sands of Egypt, history may still be hiding answers that humanity has yet to uncover. But Egypt's story didn't end with the collapse of the Old Kingdom. It was only entering its darkest chapter. If you enjoyed this series, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and let me know in the comments, which Egyptian mystery do you think will be solved first? Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.